Reporting live here in W242 here in the Marriott School. We are Group 5. Currently, we are understanding what is Interweave Solutions and who we researched. With me today, we have Alyssa. Alyssa, please tell us what is Interweave Solutions?
I would love to tell you that, Madison. Interweave is a nonprofit organization that helps people rise out of poverty. So they provide training materials, they provide booklets and group discussion materials so that communities around the world can actually start their own community groups, teaching each other about business essentials, and then people can start and grow their own businesses.
Thank you, Alyssa. This is Madison signing off.
Green from Group 5 News, and Interweave asked us to help them do research on Liberia. And so I'm going to give you a little bit of background context for what we found. So Liberia, like many countries, has seen its share of success and conflict. Throughout the age of European imperialism, only Liberia and Ethiopia retained their sovereignty. However, Liberia was unique since it had a constitution modeled on the US Constitution. In essence, it was the first democratic country in Africa. However, in the past 30 years, Liberia's, or 30, 40 years, has experienced some military conflict, including a coup and 2 civil wars. However, as the solo economic growth model would predict for post-war countries, Liberia has enjoyed GDP growth rates between 4 and 10% between the years of 2006 and 2013. Simply put, Liberia's future is bright, and its people are ready to create businesses. Interweave can empower them with its Masters of Business on the Streets, or MBS degree, so they have the knowledge and skills to succeed in their entrepreneurial endeavors. This is Tyler Green once again on Group 5 News. Today we have our guest speaker, Michael Kim. Michael's going to be talking to us a little bit about how churches in Liberia work to help people become self-sustaining. And so, Michael, could you please shed some light on the work that you've done in researching churches and how they work in Liberia?
Thanks, Tyler. So we were so excited to work with the Interweave and with the church stuffs too. And when we first started, we were able to get some contact with the mission president in Liberia, whose name was President Clark. So we emailed him to get some help and how they're doing it, just understand what the people in Liberia. He was nice enough to refer us back to someone who were doing self-reliance work already, the senior couple in Liberia. And they also told us they had a connection with the Interweave already. So we changed the direction to the churches in Liberia. We found so many churches, it's a Christian country. We found that and we were starting to narrow it down to 13 churches according to their online activity stuffs, like how famous they are in the Facebook, how many people are liking them. So we decided to narrow it down to 13 churches. After that, one of our members was able to help us with the letters that we were going to send them to by email. So that's what we did.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing that, Michael. Well, everyone, that is a little bit about churches and how they help people in Liberia become self-sustaining. Our special guest, Zach,
Hi.
and he's going to be talking to us a little bit about microfinance. So, tell us, Zach, what is microfinance?
Well, Tyler, microfinance is when an institution provides microloans or very small loans to individuals who are mainly into businesses. So what they do is they give out a small loan of maybe $100 or $200 US, and this allows this business person to be able to get a loan even if they don't qualify for traditional loans, and then to be able to expand their businesses and increase their profits.
Ah, okay. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us. Could you please tell us a little bit about the landscape of microfinance in Liberia?
Of course, Tyler. There aren't currently a lot of organizations doing microfinance lending in Liberia. There are a couple that we were able to locate and identify, and most of these are heavily involved in Monrovia, which is the capital of Liberia. There isn't a lot of microfinancing outside of the capital, so that is one thing to take into consideration. Most of the rural areas don't have a lot of access to microfinances.
Well, that sounds mighty interesting because about 1/4 of the population actually lives in Monrovia. So you're saying that 3/4 of the population has limited access to microfinancing. Is that correct?
yes, it would be harder for these people to have access to microfinances. I'm sure it is still possible, and maybe something that Interweave can help with.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that bit of insight.
Mhm.
Great. Well, concludes our report with Zach Anderson, and we're signing off.
We're currently in the day, and my name is Madison, and we are here with Madison. Madison, you look great today. First off, I have a question for you. What did you do for Interweave Solutions? Thank you, Madison. You look great also. So, what I did is I worked on non-governmental organizations, or otherwise known as nonprofits, for Liberia. Sometimes it gets a little bit boring in this discussion, but actually it was very exciting. What we did is we tried to find people who were trying to help others. And what I focused on personally was a women's group and an end poverty nonprofit. They needed help on education, which, like what we learned from Melissa, is what Interweave does. So they needed help on educating people to get out of poverty. What was really hard that I did experience is that they don't really contact. They don't get back to us over email, and that's going to be something hard in foreign countries. So that was the wall we came up to, but I know that we can help them, and I really saw a very big benefit for Interweave Solutions. So that's my answer, Madison. Madison, that was a great answer. Thank you, and signing off again, daytime and nighttime, 60 minutes.
The number 5, here with Tyler Green, here to learn about his group experience. I'm excited to hear from him.
Awesome. Thanks. You know, my experience with the team has been great. It's been a really energetic group and one that I've just had a lot of fun working with. Ultimately, I feel like one of the biggest takeaways for me was actually I grew much larger appreciation for like the country of Liberia and its people, especially as we've just looked into the different like history that's been behind it, and the NGOs, the churches, and the microfinance institutions that are all dedicated to really making this country develop. And so I'm definitely down for continuing to work with like nonprofits in the future, like Interweave Solutions, and I feel like it's just a really great program. So anyway, that's what I have to say.
Cool. Thank you, Tyler. You're great. This is Trevor Coons with the best news. Definitely not ranked number 5. Sign now.
Hi, session. Here with me again, Alyssa. We would like to know what she personally learned from Interweave.
Thank you, Madison. It's a pleasure to be here again. I personally learned the value of being specific and having action items with things that our team members were supposed to do. So we did well with delegating specifically to people, saying, okay, Trevor, you're going to do this, or Michael, you're going to do this, or Alyssa, you're going to do this. And that actually really helped all of the tasks be done quicker and more efficiently. And then we had a summary of, those action items written down so all of us could refer back to those things. So that's one thing I learned, just that being specific about and detail-oriented with the tasks really helps things get done.
Wow, that sounds like one heck of an experience. Thanks, Alyssa. Bye.
Oh, wait. Hey, we're getting recorded. Yeah, this one's totally going to make the...
This is going to make the final cut.
Yeah, this is what I learned. This is how you have fun in the group. It's great. You
This is
just
how.
talk to people and get to know them. And that's been such an incredible part of networking and just learning how to work within an organization.
What he said.
Just roll with it and adapt with it, and it all works out great.
Amen. Tyler Green once again from Group 5 News. And today we have Michael Kim back with us, and he's going to share with us a little bit of his experience as he was working on this project with the rest of Group 5. Michael, can you share your experience?
Sure. Thanks, Tyler. So what I learned from this experience was working with the Team 5 was pretty great. Actually, I loved it. They were all working hard. I didn't think the team project can be this fast, but as long as everyone's doing their work, it can go faster. And it has this like multiply effects to everyone. So I was very amazed, and I was happy with working with the group that is willing to work. And the one thing that I learned from this working with the Interweave was like, as I was researching the churches in Liberia, everyone was happy and they didn't have much stuff in their lives. So I figured out I have so much resources in my life, but some days I'm not happy. Many days I'm like kind of like normal, neutral. So I figured out this. I decide my own attitude, decide my mood. So yeah, I can be happy every day. So by looking at them, they're affecting me to become a better person and happier person. So that's what I learned.
That's awesome. Thank you for that great lesson. Well, we can see that he's very sincere about how he feels, and thank you for that. So we're going to sign off now. And that concludes our interviews with Michael Kin.
Again, in her great blue shirt, we have a question of how did she like working with Team 5? Thank you, Madison. I'm actually a member of Team 5, so that's a great question. I loved Team 5. What I really liked is that we did our parts. We tried to take our own little situations, our own little times that we had, and we just meshed everything together. We had great leaders. We had a lot of help from everyone. But what I thought was hard was actually being able to departmentalize everything, because this was such a big project that we kind of had so much going on. It was hard to know what everybody else was doing, but in the end, it turned out great. So I personally loved it. I loved my teammates. I loved the time that we had, but most importantly, my personal aspect on this is that I really like that we got to help a nonprofit with someone else. I really like that Professor had us helping someone else who needed help for an assignment that related to working with teams. So I personally love that, Madison. Thanks.
This group project was a great learning experience for me. I was able to learn more about how teams are successful when they leverage the unique talents of each team member. So for example, our team divided tasks based on who was good at what or who preferred to do which assignment, and that helped us to operate more efficiently. Also, just with Interweave in general, I learned that their mission value is really awesome, and I think it's cool that they're working on helping people in a way that's sustainable, in a way that will teach the people skills to help themselves. So that's something that I really liked about Interweave.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. Well, everyone, that concludes our guest speaker, Zach Anderson, and we'll be signing off now. Thank you.